Thanks for staying with us. So news coming to us now is that ASUU, at the early hours of this morning, have extended the strike to another 12 weeks. This decision was taken at the NEC meeting held in Abuja this Monday morning this morning. The emergency meeting had in attendance all the principal officers and branch chairmen, started Sunday and ended early this morning, where they decided that this strike will continue for another 12 weeks. Now, the implications of that is that our children who are in school would have to stay home for another 12 weeks. This is one of those unsettling information news for family members at this point. And it's something that is important for us to talk about because we understand very clearly that ASUU is still, their demands haven't changed. They include the implementation of the Memorandum of Action, which was signed back in 2020 for the revitalization of public universities, renegotiation of the 2009 FGN and ASUU agreement. Outstanding issues are also earned academic allowances, state universities, promotion areas, withheld salaries, non-abilities of third-party deductions, and rejection of the UTAS that ASUU technical team developed to replace the IPPIS. Now, these are all the talks we've been talking about for the past months right now. But the demands haven't changed, and we're not hearing any progress in this conversation. That's why we're taking up the story, because our children are home, and what are they going to be doing? I mean, the kids actually protested last week. They went on the streets demanding that they have to open the schools because they want to finish up. What are your thoughts on this? On the fact that the UK government has removed Nigerian universities of accepting our degrees because we're not in the top schools. These are some of the reasons why we can't enter that list of top schools, because our children need to get back to school. So what are your thoughts on this? We'd like to call the numbers on your screen, 08127053687. Also call 09139776948. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your TVC so we can read your tweets. Let me start with you, BC, because I know that ASUU matter is really one of those things that you're concerned about.
Yeah, it's just very painful, and I'm not seeing any hope right now. I'm constantly worried about these children. They are all over the streets. We don't see, you know, when there is a plan, when there is hope, when people have come together to say, okay, give us so and so time, let's see what we can resolve. You can sit at home and give yourself time. Okay, what trade can I easily learn waiting for this matter to be resolved? Now what I see is nobody is telling us as at when we're going to have the strike called off. Negotiations are not working out. And so these children do not know, do I want to get a job now? I may get a job in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they call it off, and I leave the job. Or do I want to learn it? Which trade can I learn in 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Yesterday I went out and I saw a lot of young people. All have gone into Yahoo. And I'm sure most of them are students. Because the idle mind, they say, is the devil's workshop. When your mind is constantly idle, you don't have any form of hope. You have to find something to keep yourself busy. And unfortunately, some parents are even tired to have this conversation. Do you keep telling? There was a picture, a viral picture I saw, that a Baba did a very funny kind of design, like an architect. And somebody was saying, ASUU strike, better call off strike, architect won't drop out. You know, because everybody's just trying to find ways to express and engage themselves in the time being. And it's not helping our educational system. We're already lagging behind when you compare us to international best practices when it comes to education. And now you extend this strike, only God knows when it will be called off. We are losing academic year, we are losing number of years, and I keep complaining because by the time you now graduate at 27, 28, 29, the labor market is not willing to take you because they say you have passed the age. So I don't know why an employer, and I'm going to blame both of them on both hands, an employer will be insisting that you have to pay me with this platform. You are the employer. You are the employee. The employer says, I'm going to pay you with this. You are telling me that employed you that you must pay me with this. That's too much rights. If we sort out that one and then we start looking at the amount of money for revitalization and all that, we have something to work towards. We have a plan. We have a long-term, we should have a long-term plan, a medium-term plan, a short-term plan. All the plans, Mariah, cannot be done in a few weeks. Can we just be wise for the sake of these children?
What you get, with all due respect, I hate to sound sexist, but when you have a bunch of men talking, The egos just continue to knock each other. You know, when women are involved in this conversation like that, we're willing to step down. Okay, you know what? Let's use the uterus.
For now,
let's children. You know, we think because we understand what's at stake. The children are at stake. But the men are just knocking their heads, ego is slapping each other, and they're refusing to realize that the grass, as you're jumping as elephants, the grass that is suffering. Yeah. So that's the problem. We have too many men in the room. Ego clashing.
But Mariah,
as I said, I'm sorry to sound sexist, but it's just the reality. Yeah.
Is it really just about uterus? So if they were to take just uterus and say, okay, we would agree, is the university willing to go back? For me, I feel it's really about the salaries and the fact that they've been owing this for many years. And there's this agreement, this is since 2020. And we know our government, administration after administration, they just don't keep to their word. You know, they always have a way of pushing it on to the next administration, and that one will take it on and try to see what they can do until, you know, they change hands. The only thing I see about the federal government insisting on using IPPIS is that I think it's an important insistence, because if ASUU insist on their own today, who else are we going to, federal government going to be sitting on the table with insisting on their own type of platform? So we need, I think in that case it's important, but I feel that the reason they are pushing that uterus is because even all the other ones you haven't done. And if you can meet them halfway on the other ones, ASUU, we can let this go for the sake of our children. I don't know, I don't think what you said really sounds sexist. It's just that there are some things that we are better, we have strength, we are better at. And we have an example with the women, the wives of that decided, okay, we're going to step back. That's a woman thing to do. We look beyond just right now, you know. And it's fair to say that if there were more women around this table in these groups, sometimes some things will be easy, will be handled with some ego, pride and everything will be put aside.
There'll be more diplomacy.
Now, concerning our children, what are we going to do?
Let me pause you for a second. I'll come to you. What are your thoughts on this? And I'll come to how we can help our children.
Since the beginning of ASUU strike, this rounds of strike, it's been how insensitive are our leaders. That's been I've said it over and over again on this platform. How insensitive are our leaders? How would you grandstand with the lives of your children at stake? So it's like if they are my children are spending time at home, and I will grandstand that it's my way or no other way, and we are spending months trying to decide what is at stake is the lives of our young ones. So for me, it is the insensitivity, it is the rub it in your face, you are nothing, that Nigerians get day in, day out, and reduces their level of self. And we know we cannot rise above how well we see ourselves.
But so, is it fair on ASUU? Because in fairness to them, they continue to, because we've seen, even during Jonathan's time, they signed these MOUs and nothing was done. So they've kind of, because of the children, stayed on. How long can they stay on?
Leaders for me are the leaders in politics. The ASUU people are frustrated Nigerians who have taken to the only thing that they seem to find working.
Yes, strike.
Strike. Because if they don't strike, and we've seen it everywhere else, the airline operators now, you're not sorry, we go, because the only language our leaders understand is strike. So we see incessant strike happening as the solution. The insensitivity of our leaders, number one, the fact that we demean human efforts. So many schools, the sacrifices people make. Many schools in Nigeria are producing half-baked graduates. Facts. The international, we've said it by ourselves, international people have promised to your face that you don't have any university here.
You don't.
Because globally, you don't have any university. So whether we call it private or call it public, in Nigeria, internationally, we don't have universities in the top 100. So when we are talking, we need to realize the issue on ground. You have millions of people, 200 million, they want to do census. We don't know the number of Nigerians, and many of us, by age, we are all less, most of us are less than 40, less than 35. Nigerian median age, we have small children amongst our population, and we are not taking care of them. They will resort to crime. They'll become the problem of the future. And our country leaders are busy arguing over what they will do because your children can go abroad. How many of your children, how many people would the abroad contain? Until we take our education serious, we are not ready for any positive change in this country.
All right, well said, Topo. Let's go on a quick break. Fantastic. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We often say that it's in the face of problems that we find opportunities to progress. So this right now, this ASUU strike in Nigeria is a major problem that we can begin to find solutions on two sides. First, the children who are in school can find solutions to develop themselves.
Call them students. So they've warned me on social media that we're referring to them as children.
Oh,
Please call them
students.
Students.
We apologize, you know.
We are our children. We're paying your school fees.
Exactly.
We Parents Association.
But you see, there are international bodies that are actually see this as a problem and an opportunity to help, because if you have a program, for example, and Elon Musk, for example, have a scholarship for people who are actually disadvantaged because of strike. So you're not in school because your school is striking. There's a special scholarship that gives you a special program that you can learn some kind of a technical skill while you're away, just to engage you. It should be something specific for this class of students, because the truth is that it's unfortunate that in a country that obviously not prioritizing them.
Yeah.
So if we have people like that, maybe it's an opportunity time for us to start taking all these rich folks across the world to create scholarships for these young people.
I don't know about scholarships, but I know that there are many
skills acquisition. I don't want the normal bid making.
So that's why I realized, I've seen like three people I follow online say they created ASUU strike package that is still going to cost students money to pay to learn something. And it is actually, a few parents can be able to afford to engage their children positively. It is expensive to engage children. You put them into a program.
Students.
To engage students. You will put them into a program, you will pay to put them in those programs. So, and not all parents have the financial wherewithal or even the brain bandwidth, because everybody's brain is occupied with the cost of living and all of that. So the mindset to even think, oh, my children are on strike, what can I engage them into doing? Because we don't want them to be idle. So in that space, we need to now have other people take up the responsibility for the parents. We need more NGOs. We need more organizations that will not say, regardless of your background, you are on strike. We have this platform. All you need to do is get data and you will learn. And it will be free, because there are several that are paid.
I'll come to you in a second. Let me take Etu from Niger State. Good morning, Etu. Are you there? Hello, Etu. Are you there? I think we lost that call.
Yeah, so, you know, those days, for you to choose to be a teacher or a lecturer, you have a specific kind of love for children. And that requires that you will make some certain sacrifices, because you're looking beyond it as a job. Just let me dress up, come to the office and just do my work. I remember as a classroom teacher, sometimes we don't have materials to do the job. We use our personal funds. We don't go back to school to collect it. We use it just to make sure that work is going on. These children are engaged. You can see that passion. And even though we're not earning as fantastic, the joy of having these kids call your name and, you know, praise you when they get older, they remember the impact you have made in their life, is what fueled being a teacher and a lecturer. What I would like ASUU to give me is to have a vision. Look at the global scale. We are nowhere. We should be thinking of ways to change that. Our lecturers are very intelligent if you engage them one-on-one. But because we have put the interest of governments must pay this, if they don't pay it at the time that we want it, it's okay, these children can. We're not thinking, we're not resourceful. The university campus can gain, we can make money out of the university. We can make money with companies who are in that. Every university you go to, you see companies who are working there. We can milk those resources and get funding to run our school, pending when government sorts out itself. So the negotiations can continue, but you are working to engage the children in school. At least the government is still paying. It's not like salaries are cut. It's just that you now want a better pay, you now want this platform, you now want this. We can be having that conversation while you are looking for, you are thinking outside the box, you are trying to do best for yourself. And if it comes to a time where you are tired of it, you can start making noise. International organizations, get them involved to see that this percentage the government is putting in education is not enough to give us the standard that we want. But you can't abandon these children because government will not listen to you.
I'll come back to Mariam. Etsu, are you still there? He's been holding.
Yes, I'm there.
You're live.
Marayo.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead, you're live.
Okay, thank you, Marayo. Thank you. Good morning, Marayo.
Morning.
We really appreciate your program, Marayo.
Thank you,
you are
sir.
doing very well.
Thank you, sir.
This is a very good program, Marayo.
Thank you, sir.
We really appreciate you and your colleagues.
Thank you,
And
sir.
even Babajide, journalist hangout, I think TVC is one of the best TV. We appreciate what we are always seeing.
Thank you, sir.
In of this strike, Marayo, we parents, we are not happy. Extending it for another 12 weeks. We don't know why federal government refused to give them or listen to them. They should please, we are begging as parents, because it's like federal government is trying to instigate parents against the union also. Parents are not happy any longer. Please, I don't know if the union will also consider they should just call about the strike. Telling us that another 12 weeks is too much, Moriah.
Yeah.
And this is our stand as parents. We are still begging the union and also the federal government. How much is that? It's not up to $1 billion. They should try to sit down with them and sort out this issue.
Right. Thank you so much, sir.
You know, I hear, before the parents called, in my mind I was going to say, should we just start having a conversation about privatizing all universities? But then I know there are many Nigerian parents that may not be able to afford it. So there's that side. But if my child would go to school and finish at, at the proper designated time, should that be better? And then maybe federal government would play the part of just making sure that standards are kept, amongst the university, make sure that you're doing enough work so that, we're all on a high global ranking. But having said that, I want to talk about the fact that we talk about a group of people that are able to take their children abroad. There used to be a time when it was the richest of the rich that could do that. But now I'm seeing Nigerian parents putting their small coins together, borrowing, doing all sorts of, loans, adache, cooperatives to be able to send that child to school. So it's not a rich parent sitting in Nigeria. It's just parents struggling, looking for alternatives for their children to go abroad. You know what made me cry about the Ukraine war and our students treated the way they were treated? Because I could see some of the parents, these are not rich parents. They had sent them, for some of them it was, okay, go and do the 4 years. When you're done, you come back, because there's no money to go and come back and everything. So it's really tough. And now for those of you that feel, oh, we can afford, you are in the system, you are in part of the administration, you are making all the rules, you can afford to send your children abroad. There's this thing I say concerning my book, which is, I know that there are some children that can buy this book. They have access to it, they have the money, it's something that they are familiar with. But then I have 80% of Nigerian children that may not be able to afford this, or have that conversation, or have access to that sort of conversation. Then they all grow up one day, and they're all adults. And then this 10% or 1% that understand the conversation on environmental conservation and everything want to talk about it with the 80%. They're not going to listen to you. So that's what you're doing. So if even those 10% that you take abroad and whatever, they cannot do much without their counterparts that haven't left, without their counterparts that are not getting proper education. So a lot of people will say, yes, the ASUU has the right to be angry because the government, year after year, has, disappointed them. But for how long? For how long are we going to keep doing this?
I mean, this is really something we need to ponder about. I mean, we have to wrap up with this, but it's a painful development that we're having to have extra 12 weeks of strike. Really sad. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We'll take a few comments on ASUU across social media pages. Do you have any more?
Yes, I do. Francis Akinboyewa says, while ASUU and other university workers are right to be angry, it's their militancy that will destroy public university education in Nigeria. University lecturers have been striking for decades, damaging students in the process. Federal government must privatize their universities. Umar Farouk Ajibola says, this shouldn't be an issue to be contemplating on. Talk less of going to strike persistently. We're not supposed to be experiencing this at all because we're a citizen of this, our great nation. Anybody says, on international study travel, it's not even elite kids that make up the huge number of Nigeria looking to study abroad. Many just want to use travel route to leave the country because it seems like the easiest. They don't have the money for the fees at all.
Ogosamo says, if they use IPPIS to pay ASUU, the lecturers will lose up to 100K in taxes. When the office is enrolled in IPPIS, the taxes triple. That's why the ASUU came up with UTAS. Antnam says, Nigerian education is very cheap. Another way to generate revenue is by increasing fees. maybe do it by income. The people who earn more pay higher.
Hassan Sariko Kweyemi says, taking education system with levity shows Nigeria is dragging far above the level we should be. It's been dragged far above the level we should be. A giant of Africa with zero reformation in the education sector. Shame on us that we're unable to lead the whole of Africa educationally. Reason for having political instability.
Let me take this call. I'll come back to you. Akonde's been holding from Mina. Good morning. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
And I want to appreciate you, ladies. You always try to do due diligence on most topics that you speak on the show.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
A big thumbs up to you all.
However,
on the issue of ASUU, I'm a member of ASUU. Actually, I'm a young lecturer in the university system.
Okay.
But I think I would like to respond to BC's comment in relation to the speak with passion, use their money to get one or two things. I think she has not done some little investigation on our lecturers of faith. For example, I earned just about 145,000 naira as my gross earnings. Okay. After statutory deduction, I'm left with about 103,000 naira. Okay. From this 103,000 naira, I'm expected to publish in reputable journals. I'm expected to go for international conferences if I'm supposed to be promoted. And by the time you try to publish in one journal, just one, might be $50, $75, or $100. And within 3 months, you're expected to put in at least one publication within 3 or 4 months. How much is left from that 100,000 naira that you want to use to help the system to get infrastructures and other things that the students need? We see where laboratories are using AC, water from the AC as distilled water. The only reason why our university are still standing is because ASUU has been insisting that the government must not abandon the university. If not, we would have been back to what the primary schools are today. It's not that the people in ASUU don't have children in the universities or they don't have passion for the job. But the government is trying to kill these universities. That's why we are nowhere in the first 1,000 universities in the world. None of our universities are among them. That is a big... It's a big minus for us. We should know that universities are down. We are only using our sweat as ASUU lecturers to just manage these students to go to become something.
Thank you very much, Mr. Akande.
I have a question for him.
Yeah. Yes,
sir.
Yes, gone off already.
Oh, God. I wanted to ask him, but they sell handouts. So this is, I'm not saying that government is doing right.
Well, put the cost on the children to now revolt.
Yeah,
Let's
not encourage
it. They sell handouts. It's not putting the cost on the children. The children already have the cost. They sell handouts. Administrative fees, we pay. See, they say it's a public school, right? You just pay the fees. We pay some other fees. I went to school in Nigeria. We pay different things that we hear of embezzlement. The money that they're embezzling, if they put it into the school, that would do something for them. I'm just trying to see how they can be resourceful to get enough money to keep these kids in school, pending when the government changes their mind.
I think we agree with you. However, what I think ASUU is saying that there are other bigger costs, like revitalization, like they're building. I was saying that my husband went back to Ife, where he grew up, how at night they used to walk in the bushes and they used to play around. He said he could right now everywhere it's be unkept. Nobody's taking care of these places, so it's dilapidating. And so the kind of funds that they need is not just the administrative fee, they need real money to actually revitalize those schools.
There was a tweet here that was very important. I'm looking for it. Somebody can go when I find it.
Okay, so, go ahead. Please, because one of the things that I feel concerned about whenever we talk about education is because we focus on the school, focus on the parents, focus on the students, and I feel that many times we don't pay as much attention to these students. So we, as a society, we have a responsibility to them. And the responsibility is to give them positive options. So right now, they are not in school, which would have kept them busy. But what are the other positive options we're engaging them in that can help them occupy their time without going into crime? And that's the kind of thing I want us to, because we can't discuss entirely on the show. We don't even have all the solutions, but can we throw the question out there that everybody can start thinking on how can I engage the 3 or 4 people around me, taking responsibility? So I have one ASUU strike person working with me and earning. I was supposed to make them 3, but when I calculated the cost I'll be paying them for that period, I couldn't. I would love to take more people in. Let every organization just find a way to bring in someone who is on ASUU strike that you are helping to teach and mentoring along the way, and we'll reduce the number of people that will be resorting to crime by giving them positive options.
Yeah, a very important
Let me take this call. I'll come back to you again. Free, are you there from Abuja? Are you live? Good morning, Free. Hello?
Hello?
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Very clearly.
Yes, good morning, ladies. I would love to say some few things. As we all know, Nigeria is one of the most religious countries in the world. Everybody is passionate about their religion. But one thing people are forgetting is that love is one of the greatest virtues, if not the greatest virtue in the Bible. But one virtue that is lacking in Nigeria is love. Nobody loves each other. Only very few people have genuine love for each other. Yeah. If not, I don't think this ASUU strike will be going on. There are people on the board, the government, the people involved. They can find ways to work this out. Children have been home for months. You'll be in year one for almost 2 years. You're stuck in one place because of a government that does not care. They can put things in place to fix these things, but they don't want to. They don't care to, rather, because their children are probably schooling abroad, so they don't care. So if we're trying to be so religious, I think we should make use of the virtues that are in the Bible, which is love, and try to come together and see how we can help these situations so it doesn't have to be like this. Thank you.
Thank you so much for
that. So Oladiji says the solution is for universities to be privatized. The government should offer scholarship to the less privileged and make sure educational standards are maintained. The government alone cannot carry the burden. Miriam mentioned this earlier, and I think they need to start looking into this.
We'll talk about prioritizing the education. Sometimes, right now, politics has even taken center stage. So it's even hard for you to even get the attention of the Honorable Minister at this point, because they've had several meetings last year. Right now, we're not here. I saw a tweet saying that they've not called us for a meeting. I was seeing a message from ASUU's Twitter saying they're yet to call them for a meeting. So obviously, as you said, it's really sickening that at this point we're still discussing the strike. The fact that the young kids, the students are still home. And it seems as though the federal government has not prioritized their education. That's the perception Nigerians are seeing. Because yes, you're right, ASUU should do some stand down, yes, maybe on the point of the UTAS. However, has federal government made the obligations? Have you paid the monies? Although I know that the Honorable Minister had said that some monies were paid, yes, but it's not sufficient according to us. They need enough across the country, so they still need more. They need more help. Let me take a few messages. Somebody said, Auntie Helen SN says that the problem with ASUU's perennial strike is that it hurts only the students and their parents, not the government. Yes. ASUU must find another way to get the government's attention and pressure them into action.
What other way?
Yeah.
What other way?
That the government will listen to.
Yes, what other way?
That's a very profound...
Can they compromise? So, they are insisting on this has to be done now. That's what I hear from all the conversations. Can they work out a plan? We're giving you so and so time for this. This is a short-term goal. This is a medium-term goal. This is a long-term goal. We're giving you this time. We're giving you this time.
Those are all the MOAs that they're talking about.
Administration.
Yeah, so those are all the MOAs.
They didn't implement. The government is not implementing. So that's the
I remember that time was they really sat down and said, okay,
let's break it down.
They'll take 2 billion, 20 billion.
Okay, we compromise here, you compromise there. We take out
Utah. They signed everything. They did not implement it now.
We have to wrap up on this. I think we have our final segments on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. But I have apologized for being very sexist on this matter. But I really sincerely feel that this is a maternal conversation. It has nothing to do with these men. Yeah. Because all they're thinking about their egos, their elections, their money, their pay. Let some people who have maternal instincts come into this conversation and can talk and understand that the interests of women, of children, of students should be at the front burner of this conversation. Hopefully, we'll see some kind of difference. If the president can do that, we'll be happy. That's all we can say. When we're going to break, we'll come back with the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.